Here we are with Gerry Hudon, and I guess Mystic Island. We should maybe talk to him for a minute. He looks like just a real character in the barn. Welcome to Down to the Wire, Gerry. Wanted to talk to you a little bit. I see you with the colors on, and then I don't see you in the race with the colors on. So that bothers me, but I'm sure not as much as you. What has happened in the last 3 years? And just give us a runbout. I know you're not driving any longer.
Well, I've had 2 concussions in the last year, and I've had elbow surgery, and just stuff that they told me I couldn't take any more head concussions, and it was time to either make a decision. So I made a decision, and I'm quite happy with it. Not being out there, I thought it would bother me right off the bat, but it actually hasn't, and I'm quite comfortable where I'm at.
Well, and that's hard to believe because everybody's such a competitor in this business, but life and in general comes first, and family matters too. So what about this guy right here? What a character. Tell us a little bit about him, where you got him, and how he's doing.
Well, he's a homebred. He's one of my horses out of my own mares, and he was. I thought he was going to be a nice colt last year, and he had to grow up, and I think he's going to be a mediocre sire stake colt that'll make a little bit of money down the road.
I'm not sure he's grown up yet by the looks of it. Anyway, tell me about your career. I know you've been in the game forever. It's a family. Are you a third generation?
Third generation, yeah.
And brother Dave is coming, and you've got kids that are in it. And what about highlights in the last 30 years for you?
Well, I mean, I won the Derby. I've won the filly pace. I've had numerous amount of good sire stake fillies, a couple of colts. I've had a great ride. I'm very happy with the way my career went. I wanted to make 3,000 wins. I'm a little short of it, like 100, maybe 110 wins short of 3,000. And I've got nothing bad. The business has been great to me, to my family, and everything.
And I'd also like to thank you. I suggested that you start putting back into the game, and I know you've sat on the ASHA board and stuff like that, but you sit on a committee for across Canada that's attempting to unify the rules of racing for all of Canada and maybe all of North America, and I appreciate you doing that. How is that process going?
It's actually going good. I mean, it's a slow process because there's a lot of stuff that has to be done, but it was something that when you had asked me if I'd join it, I was all for it, because I think that our industry needs to be unified across Canada and the U.S., and I just think that it's a great deal, and I'm actually enjoying it.
Yeah, and there's just so many little things, right? From what the 45-day qualifying rule to drug testing to Coggins test, just everything that as you go from jurisdiction to jurisdiction causes problems, and the trainers and drivers would just like to have some kind of uniformity, I'm sure.
Well, that not only, I mean, the trainers and drivers for sure, but also is the public. They need to know, like pylon rules and, interference rules and stuff. We have to have that all in line too, because they are the biggest part of our game. So we have to have that in order for them to know exactly what track. If they're a different track, the rules are going to be the same.
Very, very good point there, because pylons is a big thing. Slow halves is a big thing. So, and we got all different size racetracks across Canada. So good for you for taking the time to do that. What about 2-year-olds? You've always been a colt man. I know you breed some of your own. What are you looking forward to this year?
I have one. I got a 2-year-old colt that I'm quite high on actually, but he popped a curb and he's growing lots. So if he's not ready, I'm okay with it. I mean, I don't mind. I'd rather have a good 3-year-old than a nice 2-year-old and then not come back as a 3-year-old. So just kind of hanging out right now.
So speaking of characters like this guy, how do you put up with Don McDougall, your number one owner? Got to be a very frustrating experience for you. He is for me to have to listen to him when he makes fun of these interviews. So I'm giving you a free rein to give him a shot.
Well, Donnie's a great guy, and he's in the barn twice a week, brings coffee and donuts, and he's not a guy that questions what I do. The only time I hear him where he's upset is when he's getting beat on the racquetball court, which is generally by you, Jackson. So, and I told him, well, you got to grow up and just start manning up and, make better decisions out there.
Actually, he'll be all right. He'll be happy this week. I did let him win one, so just to keep him out playing. Thanks, Gerry. The wrong reason to ask you about not being able to drive, but we all certainly get it and wish you and your family all the best of luck, of which I believe one daughter's getting married this year.
Yeah, my oldest daughter, Jocelyn's getting married to Phil Giesbrecht on July 7th, so it's going to be a great day, and I'm looking forward to it.
All right, thanks, Gerry, and we'll see you at Down to the Wire next week. Thank you.